Today I'm going to do a video about Fords, and I don't do videos about Fords because I don't like them, and I don't like them because they're not really that great. I cannot think of a more overrated car company than Ford. You can say, oh well, they did some great classic designs. Yeah, they did some cars that looked okay, but they drove badly and they rotted and they fell apart and they broke down a lot. Or you can say, well, they've got some great new modern ideas and things. Well, not really, nothing that amazing. And besides that, they date really easily and then they break down and they rot and they fall apart. The worst thing about them though is probably just how dull they are. It doesn't matter whether they look modern or whether they look nice or what have you. They're just dull to be around. You drive them and you get bored of them easily, like you do with a BMW or an Audi or a Volkswagen. You might say, well, if they're so bad, how come so many people like them? Well, you know, in the dark ages everybody had syphilis, but it doesn't mean it was great, does it? And these days most people seem to like Ant and Dec, and they're awful. May not get much chance to do any Rover stuff today because I've come in rather late, and I actually need to fix this thing. Not something I've been looking forward to doing, but for the past few days I've not been able to get the door open. That is unlocked. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Very annoying. Doesn't open from the inside. I press the unlock again. Still doesn't open. At the moment I really don't like this truck, and maybe I'll go into a bit more about that afterwards. It rather depends on whether I can fix this door or not. So to get in, I've got the rather ungainly task of climbing through the passenger side and like this, and over the gear knob like so. Not such a massive deal, but you know, the door is there to be opened, and besides that, sometimes it's jolly inconvenient. So the only option is to get this door card off, but you know, that's always quite tricky when you can't get the door open in the first place. So hopefully I'll be able to get to all the screws and be able to just peel it off and then find out why it's not working. It's fairly easy to see what to do by looking at the passenger door. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws to be undone, and then of course there's the winder, which will have a like a clevis pin or something that has to be hooked out. That's the winder off, and the pin that I was going to show you has sprung off over there, which is, if you've ever done one of these before, you know that's what's supposed to happen. That's what it was designed to do. Anyway, last screw I've had to tilt the driver's seat forward to get to because it's just down there. But I'm going to have to go and get a shorter screwdriver to do that one. I've never known a door card that you can take off from the inside before. Must be something that Ford had already realised would be a good idea, because they engineered into their latch a failure. Won't surprise me, it's not like they've ever made any decent products, is it? Right, well that's all the screws out, but now the driver's seat won't go. Oh, no, it will. It will just about. Okay, I admit it. Maybe I was just assuming it wasn't going to work, and so I struggled with it a bit more. I have found another screw that I can't actually see. I can feel it, but I can't see it. So, hence the head torch. Yes. Now I've got to climb into the footwell to get to, oh shit, there. I need a long screwdriver. Right, I've got it, so hopefully it will just pull straight out of the door. Well, that's out. I suspect I'm probably going to leave it out because I'll anticipate it going wrong again. Unfortunately, having got this card off, I am none the wiser. There are no actual physical rods to push up and down in this like you get with a Rover, for example. It's just on a switch. So well, I don't know. It means I've wasted my time. I was just trying to find some information on this particular thing, and it seems like it's quite a common issue, but with fuses going. So the fuse for the central lock-in, I thought, well, that's easy enough to find out, isn't it? But it's not underneath the dash with the rest of them. Apparently it's behind the instrument display. So I've got to take the clocks out just to get to a fuse to see whether that's the issue or not. So this looks like a bit of a joke really, but it's not. Yep, there you go. A 15 amp fuse there. That blue thing. Who'd have thought they'd have decided to put a fuse down there? Especially if it's going to fail. Well, I've taken both of them out and they both appear to be perfectly okay, so that isn't the issue either. In all honesty, I'm not that bothered about central locking as long as the key works in the door, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't do anything. It's the wrong lock. That isn't particularly Ford's fault, but the rest of it is. In 2000, when this particular model came out, it had this really good idea to stop people from breaking into the engine compartment. There isn't a bonnet release cable inside, so if you break into the car, you can't break into the engine. But what you can do though is use the key, that thing there, and you turn it left and then you turn it right in the thing on the bonnet there, and that opens the bonnet. So yeah, brilliant. Yeah, of course, because only the owner's got the key, and any other key won't actually work for it. But of course those locks go wrong, and then you discover that all you need is a flat blade screwdriver and you get in there anyway. So the point is that you've got this great security device that anyone can actually get into, provided they have a flat blade screwdriver. So there we go, that's Ford's for you. People called Rover. I could do with sorting that fish bowl out. Back and forth. Need to go and magnify my screwdriver now so I can get the clocks back in. I was going to tell you about how slow this recovery truck is, but look at that! Suddenly I'm doing 150 miles per hour and I haven't even left the yard yet. How fast are we going once I get out on the road? It does start quite easily, I'll give you that. In conclusion to all this, I know that I should have bought a Mercedes Sprinter instead. And before that, when I had a Vauxhall Movano, I should have bought a Sprinter then. And before that, when I had an Iveco, I should have bought a Sprinter then. Bye bye.